Well, welcome to another episode of Realities May Vary, the podcast that dares ask the question, what the hell are those guys talking about? And then has the audacity not to answer that question. He's Cody Gough. He's Craig Collins. I'm Brian Noonan. You are whoever you are, and at some point the mystery will always continue. We're very excited about that. Hello, boys.
Hey.
Hello, men is more like it.
Sure, yes. Felt manly today. The humidity, decided I would do yard work in 90% humidity. That was smart. The cardiac care unit was on alert. There was a lot of sweat. My face looked like a beet when I was done. Not because I was in the sun too long, but yes, I'm fine. And I'm because I was getting very tired of looking at the grass uncut because it hadn't grown for a couple of weeks. Because as you know, we're in the middle of a drought. But then it's rained for the last 2 weeks, pretty much every day. So then everything was out of control and it was driving me nuts. Every time I would, the shepherd's hooks with the flowers on them had completely collapsed under the weight of the water. The grass was growing. I hadn't been able to pick up dog poop in a week and a half. So that was all soupy. It was just a nightmare. And today I'd had enough. So I figured, you know what? If I go down, if this is how I punch out, then this is how I punch out. I didn't care.
Wait, I have a question. All right. I thought, are you not supposed to mow the lawn right after it rains? Is that a thing?
What?
Huh?
I thought that was a thing. Like if it rainstorms, right?
I want you to ask us again because I think our first reaction was pretty good, but I think we can do it better a second time. Can you ask?
All right, let's try it again.
Yeah. If a bunch of rain comes down and then everything is really wet, aren't you then supposed to wait till it dries to mow the grass?
No. Sorry.
You can cut the grass whenever you want. If you have a mower with sharp blades, you can cut the grass whenever.
That was fun.
I thought that was a thing.
Yeah, that was an intense reaction.
Yeah,
From a man who now probably has to start cutting his own grass. Or do you have a landscaper?
I still have a landscaper.
You do.
I still haven't pulled that trigger yet.
Well, you're a big deal. You're a big
media. No, I'm not. No,
big
I'm not.
Media guy with a landscaper.
I'm pretty sure my camera is off at times, so I'm just warning everyone now. I might move when I'm not talking, and vice versa. I think I'm frozen now. Oh, this is fun.
You were frozen, but you were doing like the Grateful Dead dance, and you were fine. And then you stopped, and it froze for like a half a second.
I might have
the camera was like, "Why isn't he moving anymore?"
Yeah, no, I'm eventually going to pull the trigger and get my own lawnmower. I don't have one, so that's why we're landscaping. Not because I'm highfalutin. I am not.
There's nothing wrong with being one of the 1%.
I'm not.
I just do it because I enjoy it. I don't enjoy doing the bushes. Like I would pay somebody to trim the bushes, but I like cutting the grass and doing the weed whacking and all that stuff.
But you only trim your bushes not that often, right?
Well, every couple of weeks in the shower. It's once a year, once a season, maybe. In California, we had to do it a few times a year, but here,
Can I do the show as the blue dots? The blue dots are showing now, right? Should I just?
Yes, William Kennedy Smith, you sure can.
However,
there's a dated reference.
Blue Dot Sessions is copyrighted or trademarked, so you can't do that.
Is it really?
I think I have to reset some stuff. I'm going to have to go away for a couple minutes, guys.
I wish those blue dots would move like an oscilloscope when you talk. That would be cool. Then I would tell you, please stay as the blue dots for a little while.
They're so slow. They're moving so slowly.
Yeah.
Craig,
they're the antithesis of you. They're like took your energy and flipped it.
Craig, say, I can't do that, Dave. Let's do it.
Oh, Craig's never looked better. Wow. That attack is hard.
This is exciting. This is SpaceNet or Skynet has finally become self-aware.
I use an app that I thought was cool where I use like the camera on my cell phone, but it seems like it's having some issues. So I'll be back in a little bit, you guys.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourself.
Craig's, I'm going to let him go figure that out. Technical issues are always fun. I was supposed to have a meeting with somebody today, and I was in the Zoom room. I was ready to go, and then I got a message from him. Just so you know, I'm having some Zoom issues. Okay.
In the Zoom room, dude, our company switched to like a new calendar scheduling software thing. So, and we had already, like, my company was already part of an acquisition before. So I now have like 4 different calendars. We had recurring calendar events. I have like 3 one-on-ones with my boss every week. And it's like, which one do I go to?
Yeah, which
It's been a
how come game. This is a question, a corporate question from a guy who hates the corporate world. why couldn't they just condense them all? I mean, during whatever takeovers or acquisitions or whatever, isn't there somebody in HR or something that can condense all those calendars?
It was a software swap. We moved from Outlook to Gmail to Google Suite or whatever.
Oh, sure, the Google Suite.
Yeah. So things ported over, but then not everything. And then, there's a transition period where it overlaps. So you're making events in one and then they're not copied to the other. It's just, it's hard.
I'll be honest. Hard. I've gotten really good at Zoom. So I'm happy to stay on Zoom and like restream. I'm getting good at all these things. So I never want to go out in public again. Well, I don't need to go back into the world. I host the trivia stuff that I do is all on Zoom, and I can create breakout rooms and send people there and bring them back and share my screen and unshare my screen and share my computer sound and unshare my computer sound. Oh man, I love it.
It took me 9 months to get my podcast closet all set up, so I am not.
Yeah, why would you ever want to leave?
No,
why would you ever want to go back? Do you guys use Slack? That's something I'm trying to get used to. This is something that I have not been aware of. The company that I work for does not do any sort of, they don't like emails and stuff. It's all got to be Slack. Everything's on Slack.
Well, we do Slack. I've Slacked for a while. I'm a slacker, you could say.
Of course you are. Hello, everybody who's saying hello in the chat. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Glad you're here. So do you guys do, is that the only way you communicate?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, being fully remote, especially, but dude, me and my co-host on Curiosity Daily, we have Slacked every day for like 4 years. It's it's a lot. Yeah. It's fun. Do you know about the Slack like things you can do? You can send GIFs.
Today I attached a Sox logo to somebody who I know hates the Sox when we were having a little conversation. So I can do that. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, people have put Giphies up there. I haven't, because I don't deal in that world, Cody. I don't cotton to it. I don't like taking other people's pictures and making them my own. Plus, I'm witty enough without having to have Robert Redford give me that look and nod or whatever the popular GIF of the moment is.
What is the popular GIF of the moment?
Well, there's a lot of the ones, a lot of hybrids of the guy looking over his shoulder and his girlfriend being mad. There's a lot of that one. That's a big one. For a while, it was the cat and then the cat and then the girl screaming. That was popular for a while.
Oh yeah.
That was a big one. I'm trying to think what else I've seen, because I don't, like I said, I don't really deal with them. I don't really deal with. Will somebody say hi, please? Hello, Marianne. Marta saying Slack was bought recently, not by me, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, there is another meme that's been really big lately that I see everywhere, and I can't think of it. What's your beverage of choice tonight?
Margarita, because we had Taco Tuesday tonight.
Ooh.
You back?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I like the blue dots.
Okay, I think I'm still moving too slow.
Well, maybe pick up the pace a little bit. Maybe have a Red Bull.
I think I could just talk to you guys. I can set up a different camera and stop trying to make my fancy cell phone camera thing work. But that's going to take a while. So I could just be the blue dots tonight. They're moving a little bit faster now. I don't know what's going on with them.
I wonder if they change pace based on how quickly you speak.
Yeah, it might. I don't think so. I think it's how much they're trying to actually connect to my computer. When it's not moving, I think it's all given up. But when it moves a little bit, I think it's trying a little. There we go.
Then it looks like your computer is about to die based on
based
on the movement of the dots.
Super old cell phone game, Centipede or something. I feel like I'm playing that.
Centipede.
With the 3 dots.
Yeah, with a really bad cell phone. This is definitely not an iPhone.
That's the worst Centipede ever.
I know.
3-dot Centipede.
I'm not playing this game well.
Wait, you're not using an iPhone?
I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that doesn't look like the technology that Steve Jobs tried to create for us.
Well, he's been gone a while.
That's true. It's not his anymore.
No, now it's how big can we make the camera? That's the big innovation. No, you know what the big innovation was this year? Purple. Hey, you can get your iPhone in purple.
Really?
Does it do anything different? Nope. Oh, fantastic. Purple. That's a great color. Yeah, well, that's what we thought. Yeah. That's why we're going to charge you $9,000 for it.
You know what? Can I point out one thing real quick? I know I had technical issues for quite some time on this show. My connection is a full perfect, like 4 bars, full green. I know you can't see me. It's the first time in a long time that I've been full bars, though.
That's exciting. And yet we can't see you.
No, I don't know why that is. All right.
I wish one of us was an IT guy. Alas, none of us are.
I have a friend who runs IT for a company, and he texts us some of the things that his coworkers say and ask for, and it's next level. It'll be something like, hey, I can't log into my computer. Well, did you put in your password? Well, I put in my password to my bank account, but it's not working. I just changed the bank account password. And he's like, well, they're different things. Your work computer and your bank account are two different things. Why don't you use your that password? The printer. Hey, the printer is broken. Can you fix it right now? Well, it fell off the stand and it's broken, and another one's coming in tomorrow. Okay, well, yeah, I have to print this right now. Well, we don't have a printer. Dude, oh God, I need to like keep a folder of all the things he sends me because they're really bad.
That was a nice printer rant. Real quick, I'm showing more of my basement than I intended to show.
Wow, you blew Cody off 1,000% right there. You could not have discounted his comments more to get to the fact that you have a folding table in your basement.
I've been sitting here this whole time, like looking at all the wires behind me. I was overly anxious about the fact that I've now showed off basement I was trying to hide, but it's out there. It's in the ether now. I can't stop it. I apologize, Cody. I did blow off your story. It would have been any story. Either of you could have been telling me anything. I was then insecure about all this behind me.
But everybody knows you just moved in. Now, if in a year and a half your basement still looks like that, then yeah, we're going to judge you.
Well, you know what's
6
weird?
months we'll judge you.
This table behind me is where all my microphones are supposed to go, and Betty found every wire I own, every single one, and twirled it up and put it on that table. So there's a crap ton of wires there. It makes me look like I'm a serial killer or something. It's weird I have this many technology wires. I don't know why I have so many.
That's a lot of wires for a couple of microphones?
Well, I have 4 mics. I do some other things. There's some connect. I don't need that many though. I don't think.
Well, yeah, you're doing a lot of ASMR. He's doing a lot of ASMR videos, right? You're whispering into one so you can hear it on both sides.
That is all I'm doing. I'm trying to take off in that field. I hope.
We just got banned from YouTube, by the way, because that was sexual.
No, it was not. It was disgusting and disturbing.
What are you drinking, Cody? What is that?
Just a Goose Island. Oh, the summertime.
What is the summertime? I almost picked that up the other day. Is it good?
This is all I drank last summer when I barbecued. Anytime I went and used the grill.
You drank Natty Light with the grapefruit, whatever.
I also drank Natty Light Natter Day. Thank you. The champagne of beers. Just kidding.
That's that's copyright infringement. Miller High Life is the champagne of beers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no.
So but you just chose to.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of Miller. I had a lot of Natter Days. Sorry, I had a lot of Natter Days last summer, and I did keep them around. But whenever I went out to use the grill, after I went through like my first pack of Natter Days, I had summertime. I had summertime all summer. It's good. It's a good Kolsch. It's my summer beer.
Very nice.
Craig, not as good as I remember.
You're lacking a giant beverage this week.
Well, I have one upstairs. I do have a giant. I bought a brand new giant. Like it's just water in it though. Like it's all it has is water. Yeah, because I want to drink more water at work. I'm gonna try to get in shape, guys. I'm gonna try. Nice. No, it's not gonna happen.
What brought this on?
Getting fat during quarantine for me.
All right.
That's what it was.
No,
now that it's over, like everybody's doing stuff out. We have guests coming into places again. Like you're around people, and I was thinking about that a lot this week. Like there's more people now.
Yeah, and they want you to wear pants.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just always wear a loose-fitting T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm not wearing pants tonight, though. By the way, I'm breaking that rule here.
Good.
This is still allowed.
It is. There's that. Any Zoom call. That's why I worry about you with your high angle from the camera.
Yeah, I know.
It's shooting straight at my shoulder. You can't see anything. Who knows what the hell I'm doing down here? Right. I could be a CNN correspondent and New Yorker editorial guy, allegedly.
I would like to fix it, but I can't do it without reaching up to my phone because it's on my phone, and then I got to do fingers.
No, your phone is working now. Don't touch it.
Okay,
leave it.
Wait. Allegedly?
Who's allegedly?
I'm throwing allegedly out there.
For who? Who are we alleging?
Who's the guy? What's the guy's name?
Tubin?
Yes, Jeffrey Toobin. How do I forget that
Yeah.
name when I'm talking about cranking?
Yeah. No, there's no allegedly. There's video evidence.
Yeah, listen. I
Fair enough.
have a huge media corporation to protect. By that I mean I have 2 monitors. I'm not.
Wait. No. And I saw an interview on CNN where this woman anchor was like, "So we are now going to talk about why you masturbated on camera." She's literally. Did you see this, Craig?
Allison Camerata is her name. She doesn't smile often for any reason. She seems like she's the kind of person that's not really happy about a lot of things. But she did seem to have some amount of joy interviewing Jeffrey Toobin when because he was going to eventually give legal analysis on something. That's his gig with CNN. It took way too long to get there. And she recapped the things he did.
The whole thing.
I know.
Like nobody had ever heard about it before.
I know.
He went through everything and she was probing him, no pun intended, for details.
Yeah.
It was like, what are you doing? What, we all know the story. Can't we, which this is old news, but how do you not know that your camera's on?
Oh, I don't know about that. I would excuse some of the Toobin.
Really?
A little bit. I mean, look, I talked about today, not that I'm going to keep doing this all day.
Hold on. Before we get started,
oh, God.
I just need to double check.
Oh, God.
Do you still have a radio show?
I do have a radio show.
Good. 3 to 6 WMBD.
Millennials and Gen Z are quitting some jobs en masse because they're saying that baby boomers are forcing them back into workplaces because baby boomers don't understand technology. They're saying it's a boomer overreach is what they're saying here. I think
what does that mean, a boomer overreach?
Well, it's a thing. It's out there. It's in the news. I think that.
What does it mean?
Well, I don't know. According to a millennial or a Gen Z, some of the ones that are quitting jobs, they think the boomers are forcing them into the workplace because boomers are the people in charge. They're the bosses.
I think, all right. So I think that there are some people who are set in their ways. However, I think that the Gen Zers or whomever is framing it that way, and not you, Craig, but whomever is.
The story.
You're just reporting. You're reporting on the story.
I am.
But whomever is labeling this as a boomer thing, that is ageist. And we did a story on Curiosity Daily recently about how age discrimination is actually the most prevalent form of discrimination in the U.S. And it is very nefarious. And it's something that
young punks. It's you young punks, and I count you two amongst them.
Yeah.
That, you look at guys like me who are still able-bodied and able-minded, and yet you dismiss me because of my advanced years instead of embracing my experience and my expertise.
I do think that professionally it's harder for younger people to advance because the people in power are not in the same generation and they don't promote people that are younger. I think this goes both ways is what I'm trying to say. But here's the headline to the story.
Welcome to forever in the workplace.
Well, then why are we complaining about Cody's thing? Then why does Cody's thing matter? If this has always existed, why do we care?
Well, because now the young people have decided they cannot. The young people cannot wait their turn. They're very impatient.
Now
and you want the young. But where do you consider the old people? What do you want them to do? Die?
That's okay, that's allowed. The young people, you jerks. How could you do that?
No, I'm just saying, wait your turn, young people. Soon you'll be old people, and then you'll get your turn.
I'm in my mid-30s now, and my turn. It feels like it's coming. I need my turn.
You got your turn. Look at you. You're in a basement with a million cords in Peoria.
Workers are quitting after claiming it's a boomer power play to commute into work again. This is from littlethings.com, which is a website that I go to sometimes.
Is that okay? Is it for little people or short stories or what is it?
Here's what's wrong with that assertion, right? Like Google was like, hey, work from home forever. Who do you think is running Google? It's also boomers, right?
Yeah, they also changed that. They also took that back. You can't work from home forever at Google anymore. You got to go into the office again.
When did they take that back?
Facebook, Google, all of the Silicon Valley places reversed their decision there and required most of their employees to come into work. You cannot be a remote worker full time now at places like Google and Facebook anymore.
Hold on.
Okay, Google it. I'll wait. It's funny.
I am Googling it.
I would like that you Google this. This will make me happy.
Google backtracks on office returns.
Oh, no!
And will allow employees, hold on.
You stupid millennial that knows stuff.
Will allow employees to work remotely. Yeah. See?
I'm just saying, yeah, right. I saw that too.
Until September. after which they can choose between coming back to their pre-pandemic office, working out of a Google office in a different city, or permanently working from anywhere if their role allows it.
If their role allows it. Is no longer every employee and everyone anymore. So again, I knew a thing.
You're right.
Google it.
No, you nailed it. Okay. But okay, fine. Don't use Google. So I used the wrong company as an example. But there are some companies that are like, cool, work from home forever. And those companies presumably are also run by boomers. So it's not like every boomer is doing this, right? Like it's just
nothing. We can't talk about anything in ultimatums. And winning a conversation by demonstrating that an ultimatum is not accurate is the silliest way to try to win a conversation. Yes, you're right.
You're using ultimatum wrong.
We can't talk in. You're right. I did.
Right.
And you're right. I totally said ultimatum several times, and that's not the right word. Ultimatum is a warning. I throw it out there. Right. I say, you do this or it's over.
Do this or else.
What's the word I meant to say there when my brain farted? We can't in extremes.
Can't talk in absolutes.
Absolutes. There's a better word for it too. There's another cooler word for it that I was going for when I said ultimatum. But we can't. Absolutes is the silliest way to try to argue. It is.
Correct.
Cody. Okay, we can hang in there. I used ultimatum wrong. I did. I don't know what's going on. I hosted for 3 hours.
Cody's got something formulating. I'm gonna let it percolate before it pops out.
I wanted. There's a better word I wanted.
I'm just trying. No, you said there's a better word than absolutes, and I'm trying to figure out what that word is.
Oh, this is like word game.
You don't talk in. You're using Google to try and find this, and I'm using.
I'm absolutely. My brain.
You're going to do it faster.
Go to thesaurus.com.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like Milt Rosenberg used to say this word all the time, and that's the word I was fishing for in my brain. But it's not really
I like that you put yourself on Milt's level. That was nice.
No, I said it's not in mine. I used to produce Milt, and I used to listen to Milt. I used to, what's happening on the show right now? I'm trying to steal from others, is what I was admitting.
All right, wow. I just Googled deal in absolutes, and the second result is only a Sith deals in absolutes. So
is that what you were looking for, Craig?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just checking.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk about the dark side, is what you meant to say, Craig. I think that's where we were going.
I don't know what word that was, but no, it didn't mean ultimatum. That came out. Right.
Other words for absolutes.
Thank you.
What do you think it started with? Circumscription? Could that be it?
I wish that was it.
Cutoff point, breaking point.
Yeah. Circumcision,
limitation, conclusion. Maximum.
I'm gonna swim into the waters I created for myself. There was a while in high school where I was saying penultimate without understanding what it meant. I would use penultimate a lot with people, and I think I was doing it again to pretend I'm smart, like when I try to steal words from Milt Rosenberg that I get wrong. And it took like one really good friend to pull me aside and be like, "Hey, I just want to talk to you about penultimate." I was like, "What do you want to say? You're not using it right. You've used it a bunch around people. It's wrong." And I had to look it up. I forget where it got in my brain. Sometimes these words get in without me ever looking up the definition at all.
Well, it shows that you can retain things, so that's good.
No, it doesn't. It actually does the opposite of that.
Well, you retain the words, you don't know what they mean, but you've got them in your head.
I know whatever word Milt uses sometimes that I was trying to steal is right. It's just not the word I used.
If Milt used it, yeah. No doubt.
Yes.
Well, you can just consider me a good friend then for correcting you on ultimatum.
Yeah, that's nice of you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Anything I can do to help, and look a little smarter on my own.
Well, Milt also used to say counterfactual all the time.
Yeah,
counterfactual.
Yes, yeah. During arguments, actually, he used to make a position using a counterfactual, and I always thought that was cool.
Wow, I've never heard that before.
Oh! Now I've stolen something.
I don't think you can take credit for it just because you repeated it.
Well, if I didn't admit that part, see now.
Sure, if you didn't admit it, then I would have gone, wow, that's pretty cool.
Right. I could have stolen back my intelligence and not immediately continued to throw a sword into it by using counterfactual correctly.
Relating to or expressing what has not happened or is not the case.
Yes.
A counterfactual conditional statement. If kangaroos had no tails, they would topple over.
Milt used a fancier word when he meant absolutes, and I, for a minute, thought it was ultimatum, but I know what ultimatum actually means. I don't know what the word is. I don't know what word I was going for. Can we move on? I'm stupid.
Nope. I thought the most overused word of 2019 was problematic. It's like, just say it's a problem. You know, that thing you said is problematic. It's a problem. Just say, like, you don't need to say problematic. Like, it's not a machine. Beep, beep, boop. I am problematic 5,000. Beep, beep, boop. What you said is problematic. Beep, beep, beep. Like, shut up. Don't use it.
I am tired of everybody pivoting.
Oh, my God.
If nobody else if we never have to pivot again, I'll be happy.
You're right. You're right.
I don't like adding ing to everything. Momming, adulting, all that stuff as to make it an adjective bothers me.
We had to talk a while back about adulting. You're not a fan of that word.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It means nothing. It absolutely means that. Hey, I'm adulting. No, you're not. You're just, well, you're 37. You went and bought groceries. Big effing deal. What do you want, a medal? You want us to give you a big hug? You little baby. Oh, you're adulting. Yes, you paid your rent. Good for you. You're not going to be living in your parents' basement. That's fantastic. No, I hate adulting. I saw somebody use the momming today. You're not momming. I'm momming hard. Shut up. You're not momming hard. You took your kid to the park. It's very nice. You're actually being a parent. That's terrific. But you're not momming hard.
You know, I've actually looked into this and I could not find an answer because I wanted to talk about it on my podcast for an episode on language, but I want to know why everything is now suddenly phobic. Like, I thought a phobia was a fear of something,
correct,
right? So if you're like transphobic, like people are using that term, and it's like, I think some of the people that are saying bad things against trans people are not afraid of trans, like, why phobic, right? And then you're like,
that's a good point, because phobia is a fear of something.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of things that are being ascribed or prescribed that word are not fears. They're
right.
Hatred and bigotry, and I'm dying to know what Craig is Googling. I am because he is. It's like he's writing a book report.
I have to figure out what this word is. I can't figure out what the word is. Not
I actually Googled fancy word for absolutes.
What'd you get? I have to know what I meant. I need to figure it out. I don't know why my brain did that. It switched off for a second and everything was wrong that I said. But there's
unqualified, undivided.
I feel like it starts with a U too. It's not ultimatum, but I feel like there's a word that starts with a U. That's
unalterable.
No, I don't know.
Unadulterated.
I'm going to do this for the next 2 hours or hour and a half, I guess we have left here. You guys do whatever you want amongst yourselves. I will find this word.
All right.
90 minutes.
Greg is on a quest.
Apogee. Excess.
No. Apogee, isn't that the name of a...
Wait, utmost?
No, apogee, isn't that the name of a interface? An audio interface?
Probably. Utmost? Okay. What about utmost? Or
no,
uttermost?
That's not even really a... No.
Nadir.
Utmost. These aren't even all synonyms for what I was going for.
Unequivocal.
Maybe.
Ooh.
That doesn't sound right.
Unquestionable.
No, it's not. None of these are right.
Well, these are all synonyms.
But
undisputable.
And they all start with you.
Hold on. To go back to the conversation, Cody was trying to win an argument we were about to have based on providing an extreme example of something that disproves the entirety that disproves the entirety of what I was saying. And that a lot of people do that in arguments, not, trying to go back to the specific one. When you argue about a lot of things, someone else will be like, yeah, but in this one example I've now created, what you said is not true. So everything you've said is not true at all. That's the idea I was trying to discuss.
Inaccurate.
But I don't know what word.
They're trying to create universal truths.
Yeah.
Inaccurate, Craig. That is not what happened. Here's what happened.
It is what happened.
Many companies right now in the United States and elsewhere, many companies worldwide, many are saying you should go back to work. Many others are saying you can work remotely basically for a long time or forever, right?
Can you provide
there's companies that are like, you can still work remotely, right?
Can you provide an example?
No.
I can provide two.
Of companies that allow everyone in the workforce to entirely work from home?
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
One is the company Molly works for, Stripe, which is an online finance company. They handle payroll. They are all working remotely for now until at least January.
Well, no. That's not Cody's point. I think we meant for.
Well, you said everybody is working remotely.
No. I didn't. My article was talking about how a lot of people are quitting jobs because they feel, younger people, that the older generations are forcing them back into the workplace. And I imagine this would happen progressively. I didn't mean every single person got forced back today, but people are quitting because they're expected to, at some point, return to the office.
But my answer, Cody said some are letting some people
breaking this down.
Some companies are letting their employees
forever.
work remotely, and you
No
said
one,
cite one, and I cited two.
Yeah,
and you,
but the thing is, the conversation's actually about a permanency in that situation.
Okay, well then I misunderstood.
Yeah, I imagine those workers would just quit in January. The ones who are complaining on littlethings.com, a website that apparently I love.
Craig,
I got to find this website.
That's pretty good.
Craig, let me specifically tell you the specific source and the specific reason why I said what I said.
Could you use ultimatum in your sentence? It would make me feel dumber.
I'll give you an ultimatum. So on my phone,
ultimatum is. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's kind of weird. So I have found that if
I'm sorry, Cody. I just need to interrupt for 1 second. Littlethings.com is family parenting, pet, and lifestyle tips.
Yeah.
Not one thing in there about business, but that's okay. It's a source. Go ahead.
I imagine that lifestyle falls under where people work. I don't know. I'm debating whether or not this is. I think that it's true though, and I think that other sources than Little Things have referenced the fact that younger people would prefer to work at home full time, and that some of the workplaces like Google, like Facebook, infamously, are now no longer allowing them to do that, or at least intend to not allow them to do that. So I think the topic holds merit, whether or not the website I found it on is good.
Oh, no, that's not the point. Okay, Cody, go ahead with your point.
Here's the thing that holds merit. First of all, by the way, Tom in the chat said, in science, the suffix phobia means predisposition for avoidance and or exclusion. I didn't know that. Thank you, Tom. I still think it's used too broadly. I just don't like the word. It's losing its luster. So I have noticed that when I mindlessly scroll social media on my phone, usually it's kind of dumb or makes me angry. I usually like Twitter or something. So I put the LinkedIn app on my home screen. And I'm like, sometimes I'm bored, I'll browse LinkedIn. It sounds sad, but I learn stuff. It's fun. So Craig, specifically, when you said the boomer thing, I thought of a post that I saw on LinkedIn today, posted 16 hours ago. I thought of this. It's still on there, fortunately. Here's the headline. Latest recruiting perk, work from home forever. Recruiters are discovering that the remote work revolution spurred by the pandemic has inexorably altered the process of luring talented workers to new jobs, the Wall Street Journal writes. With many office workers enamored with the flexibility of working from home, recruiters are enticing elite talent with the promise of remote positions. So, having read this, it is my understanding that some of these companies... Hold on. It is my understanding, having read this, that some of these companies are run by boomers. When we started talking, I pulled out Google because I thought Google was still doing the work from home thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of
not to be like Google does it, so everyone's doing it. But because I had read something else that said more broadly, this is now a trend that again presumably is being pushed by companies that are run by boomers. Because more companies are run by boomers than Gen Xers or whatever. So,
correct. I interpret, one, I don't actually feel that way. I like working in an office space, so this is not relevant to me specifically. But two, I interpret that LinkedIn post differently. Recruiters are recruiting people to jobs that work from home, that always worked from home. Before the pandemic, there were jobs people had where you could work from home forever. Like those did exist. Whether or not a large amount of companies are now changing positions that were intent to be in person to work from home positions is kind of the conversation we're all having, and why younger people would resist the idea of having to return back to an office if the position they were hired for, maybe pre-pandemic, was expected to be in the office. And I think the reason why, according to the article on the very prestigious littlethings.com website, is that, technology is something that is easier for some generations to grasp because they grew up with it. There's certain aspects of technology. I'm not as good as the kid that does traffic for me, who's 20-something years old, would get my cell phone to work 100% from jump on this show today, and I failed at that. Every generation is going to be inherently better at technology because of the experience growing up with it, right?
You made a crucial point, though.
All right.
If they were hired pre-pandemic to work in the office, then quit being a crybaby, entitled little brat and come back to the office because the crisis is over.
Let me
the
say
the only reason they got to work from home is because of a worldwide health problem.
Yeah, but let me say this. I feel like the health pandemic challenged a lot of offices to rethink how their positions could be done. And a lot of younger people really enjoyed the work from home version of a job.
So did a lot of older people.
Well, yeah, but this article seems to indicate, whether or not it's accurate or not anymore, and I no longer want to throw all my pennies in that hat or whatever, but I do wonder if maybe more young people would like to continue working from home than older people, which is the concept within the article, and why that would be. If we just thought about it psychologically, why would more young people want to continue working from home than older people?
Because they all got trophies.
Yeah.
That's exactly
right.
why. They've been coddled, and their tiger moms and their helicopter parents all told them that they were special, and now they're too special to go back to work.
How dare you speak in ultimatums? You keep
Wow.
saying that. I'm going to say it
If
several
you
times
don't
tomorrow.
stop using ultimatum that way, I'm going to kick your ass. There's an ultimatum.
Wow.
No, now it's the
Wow.
only way I use the word.
I know that's
that was the penultimate comeback, Brian.
oh that was an ultimatum of all ultimatums.
I'm not good at language. I don't know why I have this job that I have. I was much better at math in school.
Is that right?
Yeah, way
You've
better.
said that before.
No, fantastically better. Like I would get straight A's in math without really applying myself. And in language, I would do quite poorly while trying fairly hard.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's an odd
I
turn of events.
I think some people are like that, right? There's people that are more brain, is the left or
I'm
right?
great at language and horrible at math.
Right. So I'm the
So
reverse.
it makes sense that I talk for a living.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for me. Yeah,
Well,
but
it's
But
'cause
somehow
Brian's
you've overcome your burden.
I have. I've fought through.
You have. You're
Wow.
you're a profile in courage, Craig.
Why, thank you. I hope to.
You're welcome.
That in a future realities may vary. I hope to publish a deep.
Hold
take.
on 1 second. It was the Kennedy Center on the phone. They're sending your medal.
wow.
I'll accept it. I would give
Of
it.
course, why wouldn't you?
Be very
Kennedy Center
mathematical.
comes to your house, drops off a medal. You can turn it in.
Never.
No, you got to take it.
Mhm.
Then you walk right into your boss office, throw it on the desk, and demand a huge raise.
I
I don't know if
want.
you know this. I'm a Kennedy Center honor broadcaster.
I want to expand my vocabulary. That's something I want to do. I struggle very hard to do that, and I even
Read
have
Goosebumps.
now. No,
Read
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
No,
It's a
it
good
doesn't.
book.
No,
Start with Everybody Poops. That's a good book.
Ooh.
That
Hang
seemed
on.
almost offensive.
Hang on. Can we go back a second? I don't believe Brian
What,
actually
Everybody Poops?
and
Yeah,
I
like
don't-
that's my reading level. That's where Brian started me. Read the child's book, Everybody Poops, Craig, and get through all those tough words first.
Some big words.
There are.
I think sphincter's in there.
Okay.
I don't believe Brian really answered the phone and talked to the Kennedy Center.
I do.
Because
Are
when
you
he
calling
held
me a
it,
liar?
when you held it to your ear, you didn't say hello or who is this or this is Brian.
You've never called him? That's how he answers all the phone calls.
I just pick up the phone.
Drops and hangs up. He doesn't speak any words.
You just once you hear it click in, start talking.
Right. I've
I
got
don't have any
used to that with
patience.
Brian. As soon as it stops ringing, I just say all the things I think and hang up. That's how I always call Brian.
That's why it's always tough when I'm on Craig's show
Yeah.
because he
that's
calls
the
and I
word.
don't say anything.
No, it is. It's rough.
This segment blows.
Thank you for that. That feels good. Are you going to be on tomorrow, by the way?
Sure, if
Not
you don't
anymore.
have to.
Hi-yo.
We'll see.
No, I'm saying your listeners. When I got a guest here who he's not going to say anything.
Yeah.
It's not going to keep. I don't think the TSL is going to skyrocket during that segment.
Mm-mm. Time spent listening for those not in the know.
I didn't know that.
Behind the scenes.
I didn't know that. I'm new to this radio thing. You guys know this.
You are. You couldn't be the farthest.
Yeah. I need a vocabulary lesson. I need somebody to give me a good word to use tomorrow on the radio show. That I have.
In what sort of
Give me anyone. Any. Give me a fanciest word you think I can find a context for, and I may do it wrong.
Onanism. Onanism.
Onanism.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Use
Brian,
onanism.
All
Yep.
right.
Look it up before you use it.
Oh man, you are a wordsmith, Brian. Can't get one past you. Anyway, Craig, just use it. This entire
use it.
conversation
Just use it,
is
Craig.
mental.
And maybe if you're talking to a sponsor,
Ooh, yeah.
or you
Just
go
tell
to a
them
meeting
that-
with the station chaplain.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a station chaplain?
Not that I've checked.
All right. Well, then wait.
How about Sisyphean? How about that?
Ooh.
Sisyphean is a really good one. And it's not rated R. In fact, it comes from the Greek Sisyphus.
Wow.
Yeah. The Greek who was pushed a boulder up a hill.
You've made Noonan Google.
That one.
No.
The Sisyphus I knew. Once he said Sisyphus, I Googled it just to make sure I was right.
That's not a thing anyone ever does.
Oh, it's 100% a thing. I do that a lot. If I think there's something, I double check that I'm either right.
But then
So-
you didn't. But then you didn't know it.
I did know it.
But not enough to not Google it.
I wanted to be
I
sure.
feel like that's the ultimate test to knowing a thing, right? If you don't need to Google it.
Well, there's
like trivia, for example. Getting trivia right or wrong is, you cheat.
You have to know it. I was unsure, but it turns out I was right. I was double checking it. I admit I was unsure.
The first 40 minutes of this show.
I was unsure.
I love it.
I have spent the last 2 days spending 4 hours learning about Kiss.
Oh,
the band?
Why?
Because A&E had the Kisstory biography, a 4 hour 2-night event about Kiss. Now I know you two are much too young to have been into Kiss in their, when they were huge in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. They were huge. They were the biggest band in the world. No doubt about it. You can at me, you can fight me, I'll fight you on it. There's no two ways about it. Kiss was the biggest band in the world. Then they fell on hard times and there was a lot of craziness. But I was a big fan like early when I was in grade school and high school. And then I fell away once they got into like the disco-y stuff and stupid stuff. But it was a good documentary. It probably could have been 2 hours because it was mostly Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley stroking each other. That was basically it. Aren't we great? Weren't we fantastic that we've kept the band together for 50 years? Which you got to give them that. They've been the band for 50 years. But yeah, it was cool to see the beginning stuff. Then it was like, whatever. Would you watch? Is there any band you would watch a 4-hour documentary on?
GNR.
No.
You would? Okay.
100%.
No.
No, Craig, you don't like music? You would watch a 4 hour.
What if it was 4 hours about a linguist, Craig? Would you watch it then?
I guess I wouldn't understand it. Especially
what if it was
talking about masturbation the whole time?
What if it was a cunning linguist?
A cunning linguist? Are you trying to get me to say other bad things?
No, I literally asked you a question, Craig. Get your mind out of the gutter. Would you watch a 4 hour? Craig,
did you think I didn't know that one?
Would you watch a 4 hour?
This bullshit. I think I'm on summer hours. I have 15 minutes left. This is going to be a fun time. I'm going to go open the dictionary. Just have a nice.
Would you watch
a wine, a red, some kind of red, and just the dictionary? Just sit there in my
Cabernet goes with a dictionary.
Well, the problem is you don't want to open to A. That's too predictable. I'll just find somewhere in the middle and just start reading word after word. Try to retain them in my brain with a nice Cabernet.
You know what you need? They used to make. I don't know if they still make them. They have those word of the day calendars for your desk.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't retain that stuff though, man. I think my short-term memory is broken. I think I have a broken brain.
How did you do that?
I don't know.
You had no idea how it broke?
That would demonstrate the problem, wouldn't it, Noonan?
Well, unless you broke it a long time ago and you could pinpoint the exact time.
I think for things to enter your long term, they have to be in your short term first. I don't think anything can enter your long term first.
Well, but my point is, if you lost your short term sometime, you still have some long term stuff. So maybe you can long term remember the point where you had no more short term memory.
But wouldn't that have happened? Wouldn't that have been something that would occur? And then wouldn't I lose it as that thing was happening? I would turn into Memento. I would turn into Memento.
Oh, that would be wild. So, well, then you could just take the word of the day and paste them on like Ray Rayner and then pull them off. And that would be cool. You'd be like,
let me ask the audience. I want to pull the audience now. How much respect do you lose for a talk show host when they don't know what words mean? Just out of curiosity.
I would lose none if they just avoided the words they didn't know.
Yeah. Apparently I can't do that.
Well, no, I'm not talking about you, but I hear I judge very harshly. Like if I'm watching the news or something and somebody misspeaks, oh, I hate it. I hate it. And I am not perfect in my elocution because at some point, if you're reading the news, you are setting yourself up as a credible source.
To go all the way back for a second, I actually do know what ultimatum means. My brain just used it wrong twice in a row for whatever reason. So misspeaking is an accident. Yeah. I don't mean for me anymore specifically.
I think you're being a little sensitive. We understand.
Why would be? I don't think because I do it so often. I think I could forgive misspeaking.
Can you?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, I can forgive it if it's some impromptu conversation like we're having now. But if it's a scripted teleprompter thing, no. Or if you're filing a news report from the scene of a horrific accident, be a little accurate.
Thank you, Paul, for the update on the Yankees. They're going to win for the first time in several days.
It's very exciting.
A pitcher for the Angels vomited on the field last night.
I saw that.
He had illness and still beat the Yankees. That is a bad place to be as a professional baseball team when the dude is vomiting on the field and then still striking you out.
Trash organization.
Good talk. No, that's not true. Inaccurate. I will not agree to that.
Listen, if you're vomiting and you can still get guys out, it's bad.
Right.
As you said.
Right.
That was gross because he was doing his best not to yak that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the announcers were like, oh, it's got to be the heat. Could be the heat. No,
Right.
It could have been a bad bagel right before the game.
Yeah. I feel like
the salmon had been out too long.
I feel like Marta is now trolling me, by the way. I see it in the chat. Lose none because they never gained any respect. Okay. Thank you for that. Cody's gone.
Right. I was fact checking you. No, I'm fact checking you on the things encoded in short-term memory before long-term memory. We covered this on Curiosity Daily, but I can't find the story.
Oh, I'm glad I got you on something real.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Logically have to be that way?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember the science, so I can't confirm or deny at this point.
But you said no, very, very convincingly.
Yeah, we need you to always remember the science.
Yeah, it was a yes or no question. You said no convincingly, and then you said, I don't remember the science. I'm now confused. I'll forget this in a couple seconds, though, so we'll be fine.
Write it on your arm, quick.
You said it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. And I said, no, which is,
no.
You know
what would be cool? If you spelled it out with some of those wires and glued them like a decoupage onto the wall.
That would be cool. You know what the worst mistake that I currently make is, and it always made me mad, but now I do it quite often in text.
Talking to me?
Well, you both of that. I use the wrong no, like NOW, KNOW now.
Well,
no,
NOW is no.
I know what it is. I know what it is. But people mistype those things often. I do that a lot, and it very much makes me sad. And I think it's just like the phone, because I know what all those very simple words mean. But that's very embarrassing when you do that in a text or an email. You have the wrong no or now.
Or there.
Did we get the concept yet? I feel like I confused you both for a second there.
Well, because you said no, and then you said now.
You said
no, then you spelled out now.
I was demonstrating the way in which I was sending a wrong word, intending on one and sending a different one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I knew what I know.
Yeah. I got 10 minutes left, and then I can't wait to sleep.
Wow. What?
Well, I mean, the topic of the last 50 minutes is Craig an idiot, essentially.
Well, you're the one who said, who brought it up.
We're doing this whole thing. I'm bobbing and weaving. I wish
we need to go to Cody. We need to go. Cody officiated a wedding this week.
Yeah.
I did.
Let's talk about that.
I did. That was great.
Craig wants to know how it went.
I do. I would like to now.
I don't know where any of all of tonight is coming from.
Yeah,
you're very good at talking.
Picking.
You're very good at talking, and you know words. So I don't know where any of this is. Yeah. Did you have two Monster Energy?
No, the last one just seems mean. I was demonstrating a point on purpose, and now we're pretending I got it wrong. It just.
No, I know you were demonstrating, but I don't take text misspellings. I don't count those.
Yeah,
I don't communicate a lot other ways.
I know. That's most people don't.
I know.
It's disappointing.
So that means the entirety of how a lot of people view me is based on what I text them. And I text incorrectly often.
Yeah, but isn't that socially acceptable?
What? I don't know.
To misspell texts and not use punctuation and no capitalization. And it goes against everything I learned and practiced in writing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to keep focusing on Marta the troll for me. Craig, that comment never had your name typed. I don't know. Just reading them out loud. They're out there. I see them.
Why would you do that?
Very kind person she is.
Oh my gosh.
I did. It was the second wedding I officiated this year, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. It's weird. No, it was cool. I went to Rockford.
Who got wedding?
Sister. Well, it was sort of like public. You know, she did.
I know, but other people don't know.
All right. So my sister got married during the pandemic in a real Catholic church ceremony. And then it was like, hey, let's have like the whole shebang, where you get the ceremony and you get the people there and friends and you can invite more than
nanny.
Well, it was quite the hootenanny. It was a lovely hootenanny. Downtown Rockford, I gotta say, man, like they've got some cool stuff down there now. Rockford's really turning itself around, in the downtown area. They have so the Amrock building. Do you know Amrock? Is that like well known around Illinois?
No, wasn't that what WLS used to be in the day? AM Rock?
No, a little different. AM Rock like was a manufacturing facility, and they manufactured like switch plates and doorknobs and cabinetry like hardware and stuff like that. And it was apparently I've heard this secondhand. They did this experiment in vertical assembly lines. So it was like a 10-story building, let's say, and they'd send all the materials up to the top. They do some stuff, put it together, go down a level, put some stuff together, go down a level, etc. Not really a successful experiment because it turns out it takes a lot of power and energy to move things up and down instead of, just like across an assembly line.
Assembly line, yeah.
Yeah, so they had this. So right downtown Rockford, you can see Davis Park, Founders Landing. There's this big building where like all the concerts are. On the waterfront is there. All these big shows go there. And next to it was this big abandoned industrial AmRock building. And anyway, it got converted into this really cool hotel. So it's like all got the exposed brick and cement and really cool fixtures and just a ton of space. And it was really neat. And it's just like, yeah, that whole area is kind of more developed now. So downtown Rockford's kind of like making this comeback. It was sweet. It's, it's Rockford. So it's compared to like the city, it's dirt cheap to go to. So it was a good time. But that's where all the festivities were held. So I officiated, and it was pretty rad. I told Craig I'd send him pictures of my baby later because he got.
Oh, that's right.
You saw it, Brian. I had to send it to you right away because you have the Irish thing. But my baby wore a kilt.
Oh,
so I know. Imagine a 10-month-old in a kilt. And I wanted to get your live reaction, Craig, but there's too much going on, I think, with the Google and the trolls and the vocabulary. I don't even know where your head's at right now. But next week I'll text you during the show, and you can react in real time to how cute he is.
Sounds lovely.
And I have to say, it was an entire ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
He was decked to the nines.
Oh yeah.
Now, being Scott, is your sister's side of the family, are they Scottish or Irish?
So yeah, I mean, it's we've got some Scottish heritage and some Irish heritage. So we wore 3 different tartans the party because we've got a Scottish clan and an Irish clan in our lineage, and then he has, I believe, a Scottish clan. So they wore their tartan. Part of my family wore one tartan. Part of my family wore the other tartan. So it was really it was pretty sweet. I just wore a tie. I just wore a black tux and that tartan tie. So
nice.
There's cool ways to integrate it. It did, because my older brother's first wedding, everyone wore kilts. It was like full on Scottish. Let's all do the whole thing. This was, it didn't go quite that far. The bridesmaids, groomsmen didn't wear kilts and stuff. The groom did, but everyone else, it was kind of a little more, lackadaisical. Is that? See, now I don't know a word. Now we're all together. Lackadaisical means just chill and like relaxed, right? I think.
Yeah.
No,
not laid back.
I think it means the extreme example of something. I think that's what that means. Lackadaisical. I'm kidding. I'm recalling ultimatum. Jesus Christ. I'm going to go.
Are you still looking for that?
Good.
I was actually opening Google because I believed you, because I don't know what I actually didn't know what the word meant. So.
Okay. Well, this has been fun. I really like you guys. It's a great time. Marta's my favorite listener. Unfortunately, I'm on summer hours. Otherwise, I would stay and we would chat about so many things. But darn it. Just darn it. This has been a fun one, though. I'm going to put this in the Hall of Fame for me.
Are you okay?
Submitting it to an award show of some kind. I'm actually just going to use it as my acceptance speech when I get that medal we were talking about earlier.
I have
back a podcast for me. I don't want to do any kind of speech.
I have a medal just for being here. I actually give myself a medal once a month, just for being a millennial, because I think that's the way that we all should act.
Right. I thought that was normal.
I can send you one too. Actually, I bet Amazon has a subscribe and save. Give yourself a medal / trophy. Just, dude, I wonder if Amazon actually has like a millennial award service. Subscribe and save. I would subscribe to that. I might just start doing it.
Me too. I very much look forward to getting my first medal in the mail for something I didn't do. Achievement that didn't matter.
The Kennedy Center's already got one on the way, allegedly.
Yeah,
that's a big one. I'd hold out. I wouldn't get cheap in your Kennedy Center one by doing something else.
Especially since my acceptance speech is so good. It's just this episode of the show. I can't wait to win the medal and then play this.
Listen, before you go away in a huff, which it seems like you're going to do.
I'm in a good high.
The only first criticism was all I said was that you were using ultimatum wrong. And then We learned that you were not good with English from you. We learned that you were better in math. All this from you.
We're going to check the tape. The tape's going to be checked at some point. We're going
to please go back.
Throw in the review flag. We'll figure it out.
I think the only person who used derogatory adjectives for you was you.
Mm-hmm. I
challenge you to listen to tape.
I do. I'm not arguing any of that. I think we're good. This was a very fun show. I'm glad I prepped for this correctly.
Well, give us one of the things. Well, you did. You brought in the millennial stuff.
Couple with deja vu claim that they remember a past life where they both were lesbians. This is a guy and a girl who were burned at the stake as witches in Ireland in 1500. This went viral on TikTok. Two people in a couple talked about the fact that they remember a past life. They had a deja vu. They were witches that were lesbians in 1500, and they were killed in Ireland. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow on that radio show that I've mentioned that I have.
You do have a radio show.
What I love about this story is that it demonstrates lowest common denominator, who apparently I am. You can succeed in those worlds, because this is fascinating. I want to hear these two people talk about the memory they claim to have of a past life. You know, it went viral on TikTok because other people were as fascinated as me.
I'm glad. First of all, I'm glad you said claim to have had. So that's, I know you haven't lost complete touch with reality. So that's good.
Correct.
Allegedly.
You still have a healthy skepticism.
Hold on, I'm going to barrel through some more. Food writer gets toasted for telling people to substitute bread for steak. That was a bad mistake. Bread steak went viral on Twitter.
Wait, hold on.
Dumbest thing ever.
Nope. I'm not explaining them. Jean shorts are coming back. A dad-style staple is suddenly in fashion yet again.
I saw that. I hated that. I hated that. That's not even a dad staple. I'm a dad. It's not a
dad staple.
These
it's
are
never been a dad
I've never seen Brian wear jean shorts in my life.
I'll go cargo shorts are a dad staple.
Who needs meme stocks when you can invest in shares of maturing whiskey barrels instead? That is a real thing. You can throw money at a specific barrel of whiskey and hope to get paid off well with it.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense to me.
From Mashable.com and maybe also Little Things. I hope that it's on there soon. Facebook.
I hope there's a booze story on Little Things.
Facebook UFO group moderators don't understand why people won't join Facebook UFO group. I love that story.
Why is that a story?
What are you talking about? That's on Mashable.com. That is obviously a story.
It's Mashable.
Yeah, UFOs are in the news. The moderators of a popular Facebook group don't know why they're not growing in crazy numbers. A Buddhist.
Speaking of that, did you see that Harvey Levin now, the guy from TMZ, is doing a big UFO show, debunking or going after all the stories about the what are they calling them now? They're not UFOs. They're some sort of flying.
It is a tempting way to draw me in, but I said I'm not having a conversation. I'm making statements that I'm leaving. Buddhist monk has saved tens of thousands of stray dogs in a 27-year period. That guy's a hero to many. 27 years, saved a bunch of dogs, thousands of dogs. Buddhist monk. One last.
Where do they go?
Not necessarily a hero. It could devastate the ecosystem.
Okay, ignoring that.
Depending on the context, I don't know. I'm not you know.
Well, Craig doesn't have time to share.
Well, sure, yeah.
Mom brings toddler to job interview in viral video demonstrating the need for childcare and the childcare crisis. That is adorable. I will say that if a kid showed up at a job interview, I'd be much more likely to hire any individual.
Really?
They brought a kid. Well, yeah, I think so. Like, wouldn't you have? No, I'm not doing it. Hold on, that's not right.
What if it's not a cute kid? What if it's like? What if it's one of those babies and you're like, that's not a cute kid.
I had a good time. You know,
no, I don't cotton to that. Items. I don't like it.
I think part of the reality is made very like existence. The variance comes from it not always being clear when anyone is being sarcastic. Like, not crystal clear. Like, we know each other pretty well, so we're usually pretty sure. But I think there's things that I say sometimes that you're like, wait, what? And I'm like, no, I was kidding. There's definitely things you say, and you get me all the time. So it's just, you know, we're very on brand all the time.
Always got to be on brand. It, you know, what we can't stick to. We all have things that we needed to talk about, but we can't all get to them. We can't, you know. Sometimes things just take off. I didn't know we were going to have a conversation about language, but you know I am always down for that.
We've had some fun language chats, which is why I knew that you hate the term adulting, because you've talked about that for years.
Yes, I hate it. there's a lot of phrases that just drive me crazy, but adulting is anytime you take add ing to make a noun some sort of verb or an adjective, it bothers me.
Yeah.
Because you're lazy and you're a hack, and it doesn't mean anything. You think it means something because you see a bunch of people do it on Instagram and, Facebook, but it means nothing. Doesn't mean anything. Drinking. I'm drinking. That's the proper word for an ing. Not I'm alcoholicing. I'm not going to, what am I going to post a picture of me at a brewery? Go, hey, I'm alcoholicing today. No, I'm having a beer. That's what I'm doing. It's not adulting because I did it when I was not an adult. So it has nothing to do with my chronological age. It just is. Well, it's just wrong.
Well, I was officiating this weekend, and Brian, I got to give you a piece of advice because you've officiated a fine wedding, very fine wedding.
I did one.
Well,
still
honestly,
holding the couple's still married, as far as I know.
As far as I know, very likely the best wedding I've ever been to. Actually, that you officiated, believe it or not, you're a big part of that. But if you really want to knock it out of the park, you got to officiate a wedding that doesn't really count as the wedding because I think
because they were already married.
You're right, and I think expectations were lower. I don't know, but apparently I knocked it out of the park.
Really?
Like nice. There were.
I would have expected nothing less, to be honest with you.
Well, I spent at least 20 hours writing and refining it.
Wow.
Like literally. Yeah, I know. I took it seriously. It's my sister, dude. Like,
it's your sister, of course.
I mean, you took mine seriously. I'm sure it was close to 20 for you at least.
It was a lot.
So, but I don't know where expectations were at. I know I did well, but I think I attribute part of the response to maybe people just thinking that it was going to be kind of like, oh, just like talk for 10 minutes and just kind of go through the motion. It's really just an excuse, maybe theoretically in someone's mind for her to just show off the dress to people, which was amazing. Show off the dress, get to do the walk, get to walk out, kind of that. But no, I put a lot into it, and it was well received. So everyone was really happy. It was great. I'm glad that she got to have her weekend, and it was pretty cool.
That's very nice. And so the reason I was wondering if your brother-in-law was of Scottish or Irish descent was because, if people are unaware, they might have looked at your son and you guys, when you put on the kilts or when people put on the kilts, go, oh, what is that? It's kind of a dress. Yeah. Because we had that happen this weekend. I went to my cousin's son's baptism. And our side of the family, obviously 100% Irish. The mom's side of the family is Polish, from Poland. And it's been a tradition in my family. When I was born, my dad's aunt, who had come from Ireland to take care of my dad and my aunt after their mom died, had a baptismal gown made in Ireland, modeled after the baptismal gown worn by the Kennedy children.
Right.
So it was this beautiful long lace gown. All my brothers have worn it. Most of my cousins have worn it. My four nieces have all worn it. One of them switched, like she wore it for half, ours for half, and then my sister-in-law's family had one, and so she wore it. So it's been around for well over 50 years, this gown. And it always resides at my mom's house. No matter who uses it, it always comes back to my mom's. So anyway, my cousin's son, Patrick, was getting baptized, and they said, hey, we'd like to have him baptized in it because his dad was baptized in it, I think. And so he brought the baby over a couple weeks ago, tried it on. It all worked. It was great. Anyway, Irish people and Italian people all seem to the baptismal gown is a thing. In the Polish culture, it's not a thing. So there was a lot of discussion about why this boy had to wear a dress yesterday. A lot of dress comments or Sunday, which was fine. But then after, he got baptized in the gown and it was cool. I got to hold him and get a picture. So it's like the alpha and the omega of wearing the dress to this point were there, the gown. But then they switched him after we got to the restaurant for the lunch. He was in the gown for a little bit, and then they put on his tuxedo, his white satin tuxedo. He looked great. He looked like a little lounge singer. It's like, hey, bop-a-doop. But nobody. And then I heard his uncles on his mom's side, the Polish uncles, walk by and go, oh, now at least he looks okay. And I was like, dude, we're gonna have to throw down. But it was nice. I hadn't had Polish food in years. It's very tasty, but it's very heavy. You ever had Polish food?
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's good. But the last time, listen, you're gonna cancel me. Somebody's gonna cancel me. That's okay. But this is fact. Last time I went to a Polish restaurant was over 30 years ago, and it was a very warm day.
In Chicago?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. It's just not a cuisine that I have a lot.
Yeah. Okay. No,
but I've had. I mean, I've had pierogies and stuff since, and I've had stuff. I just haven't been to a Polish restaurant. You know. Sure. Well, one of the waitress who was taking care of us back 30 years ago had not shaved her underarms, and they wear the cap sleeve thing. So every time she reached over me to like pour water or something, I had a big sweaty hairy pit in my face. And so that kind of turned me off to that. Now the Sunday, that didn't seem to be a problem. All the waitresses were very lovely. I didn't notice any underarms. I think they had actual short sleeve uniforms on, so you couldn't see them. So that was fine. But I didn't realize this in the Polish culture. Baptisms are given almost the same import as a wedding. So there was an open bar, and then on every table there was a bottle of this lemon kind of vodka. Because I saw this bottle at the end of the table in an ice chest and some shot glasses, and I asked one of my cousin's brother-in-laws, like, "Hey, what's this? What's this?" "Oh, that is Polish vodka. It's very smooth. It's with lemon. You just drink it. It goes down very easy. You just do shots." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." So I did one, and I go, "Oh man, this is dangerous." Because it was really smooth. It was almost like a limoncello kind of deal.
Oh,
so yeah, but I don't need to be doing shots at 1:00 on a Sunday afternoon in some Polish restaurant way out south. I gotta be on my toes to get home.
Yeah.
But so I said to him, I go, "Man, this is dangerous. It doesn't taste like it." He goes, and then he goes, "Yeah, but you're Irish. You can drink."
Nice.
It's like, man, a lot of Irish slams coming my way.
No,
because I walking in with Debbie, I go, "Listen, Debbie, no Polish jokes, all right? I would never. You'd be the way. I would never do anything like that." I'm like, just keep it on. Yeah, but it was it was fun. It was a big deal, man. They had there was a little band, there was food and booze and. Tried a Polish beer. I can't pronounce it. Don't ask me. I tried. I asked both bartenders if they would pronounce it for me. And they said it, and I tried to repeat it, and I couldn't do it. And I felt awful.
Rumspringa.
No, that's the Amish spring break where they go out and they get drunk and hump. Nothing to do with Polish beer. But I did see listen, Cody, you know I'm woke. Right, I'm open to other cultures. I try to allow things in.
Those are three different things, but we'll say the second two because those are the good ones.
Yeah, woke is
woke's jumped the shark a little bit. Let's just say
I try to experience if I'm in another area or like country, or if I'm with people of another culture or background and they're doing so, I try to learn about it and get some of it. Perfect. So my brother and I are standing at the bar when we first get there, and we see the bartender. He's pouring the tap beer of this brand of beer, and then he's putting something in it and stirring it, and a lot of the guys at the bar are drinking this. So I'm like, we got to find out what this is. This looks like an insider deal. Like, you got to be in the know. And so I said, "Hey, what are you putting in the beer? Or what are you putting in there?" And it's this draft beer. I go, no, I know that, but then I see you pour something in there and stir it, and all these guys are drinking. He goes, "Oh yes, we take this, and he picks up this bottle, this raspberry syrup, and we pour it in there. I was like, all right, bring it. So I tried one of those. I didn't care for it.
All right.
But I drank it. It like Debbie took a sip. She thought it was too sweet, but I didn't think it was sweet. I thought it was something else. It was not tart. It was just, I didn't like it.
You put it in the beer?
Yes. And you stir it up. And the beer by itself was really good.
Huh.
But the beer with this raspberry thing, and it was wildly popular. All the kids were doing it.
Well, as we know, you dislike sours.
I hate sours with a passion.
Right. So your raspberry sounds, that sounds not up your alley. So was this the largest gathering you've been to since the things opened up back up?
Yes. I went to a memorial service, and that wasn't quite as big. But this one, because the restaurant, we had half the restaurant was this party. But then the rest of the restaurant was packed too, and people were outside. It was the joint was jumping. I'll give it a plug. The Heritage House, out in I think it's in Crestwood or something like that, like 123rd in Harlem. It was really good, but there were a lot of people, and people were there were no masks obviously, and people are moving back and forth. And you know what? I didn't care. I was having fun. I had some sort of raspberry syrup beer, a couple shots of Polish lemon vodka, and a lot of really heavy food. So I was good to go.
Yeah. So Ice Bag John was at my sister's wedding.
Sure he was.
Good old Ice Bag John. You may remember him.
John.
He's fine. He's exactly the same. You, listener, may remember him, but I hope you don't. So Ice Bag John, he's just a friend of mine, kind of. So anyway, he said I did such a great job officiating that I somehow got in the bar line with him. And when we got to the front, he asked me if I wanted to do a shot. So he got me a shot of Rumplemints.
Oh, wow. That's a blast from the past.
It's like 50%.
Is it that high?
Apparently, I didn't know that, but when I had some, I was like, this tastes like grain alcohol. So yeah, I had a shot of Rumplemints at the start of this reception. So I got a good start.
I thought Rumplemints was the peppermint one, isn't it?
I thought so too, but I think it's
peppermint schnapps. Yeah.
Not that. It's not that. Yeah, but it is. It has a high alcohol content, 100 proof.
Yeah, 50% ABV.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Oh yeah, no, I got the peppermint, but it had a bite. So I didn't actually really get super drunk at the wedding, which is nice. But
that is nice because your son was there, your infant or your toddler son.
We set up this whole elaborate scheme to have him babysat after pictures.
Oh, very nice.
So so a couple things. So I mean, my sister didn't mind people seeing her in the dress because aforementioned reasons because the circumstances. So we did all the pictures beforehand, and that included my baby, who is adorable. And then one of our family friends, actually one of the ladies that was in our wedding, came into Rockford, and my parents got him an Airbnb. And so she took the kid, and she has a couple kids, and they just went back and hung out for the night.
Oh, so, nice.
Huge favor, but their family got a little mini vacation out of it, which they were very gracious about. But because there's a ton of parks in Rockford. They were like,
really?
Oh my God, are you kidding? I've heard Rockford's Park District is like one of the best in the state or something. Someone once told me that they have some of the best golf courses in the country.
In Rockford?
It sounds super random, but right? Like, no, I mean, say what you will about the schools and the roads, but the park districts are phenomenal. There's a zillion parks. So they were just going on nature trails, and they're doing all these forest walks. They ended up at the Anderson Gardens, I'm pretty sure. This like amazing Japanese gardens in Rockford.
Oh, wow.
There's a good, every time I go back, I kind of like it more.
Really?
Maybe it's just because I don't live there, but I really got a soft spot for home.
Well, that's it's where you grew up. So why wouldn't you have a soft spot for it?
And there's amenities that I just wouldn't have appreciated when I was little, like the big botanic gardens. It's, that's a thing I'll go to with my wife. Is it still
one of the most dangerous cities in the country?
Probably. All
right. I'm just wondering. Because that would take away from all the beautiful amenities.
There's issues. Yeah. There's some parks I wouldn't go to.
Okay.
but you know.
Yeah, but what is it? How is that different than anywhere else on the planet?
True. I don't know. So all in all, it was that was great. It was nice to have a babysitter for a night, you know?
Yeah, how about it? Especially somebody you knew.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's somebody that you were very comfortable with, not just some random high school kid from the neighborhood. Have you had a random high school kid from the neighborhood yet?
Not yet. No, we'll get there. Really? I just re-authenticated my VPN literally twice right before we started. My VPN it's just like, oh, I hate you. I'll get kicked off for a sec. It'll be fine.
All right. Well, listen.
But we had to rely on somebody from out of town because everyone in my extended family was at the wedding.
All right.
You know?
Yeah. How are they? Yeah. Now, was it just so you guys could have fun, or did your sister and brother-in-law have the no kids at the wedding policy, which I'm a fan of?
Oh, no, they didn't have a no kids policy. But
there goes Cody. He will be back to talk more about it. While he's gone, I will remind everybody to listen to Craig tomorrow and every day from 3 to 6 on WMBD. He left before we could get the plug in for him, so we want to make sure that he gets his plug as anybody would. So don't forget to listen to Craig. Craig left without his plug, so I was giving him his plug.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was not a no kids allowed wedding, I don't think. Because really, the only youngins I know of are my son and my future niece, my brother's fiance's daughter, and they both went with our friend who was the sitter. So I don't know. There probably were other people with kids, but they just got sitters. I don't know, but
yeah, I think I've seen it both ways. I think having kids at the ceremony is fine, but little kids at a late night wedding or a wedding I don't know. I don't mind. I know some people get all up in arms if brides say, no kids allowed. It's adult only. Well, what am I supposed to do with my kid? I don't know. Get a babysitter or don't come. Those are your options right there.
Well, yeah. And I can get it from the bride's point of view because you don't want attention taken away from the bride, right?
Well, or you don't want it disrupted. You don't want,
that.
No, like I'm talking about at the reception. At the church, you bring the kids, get the family pictures.
But at the reception, if the kid is big enough to stand, and they can dance. And that's the cutest thing in the world.
All right. I'll give you that until the kid is disrupting things.
Sure. And I don't want that. But having been to weddings where they've got a 2-year-old who's just learning how to walk, or 1.5, whatever, just learning how to walk, all the girls swarm around and take their little hands and they're doing the dancing. Oh my God.
Or the little girl is dancing on her dad's shoes. It's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When my brother got married, it was on Molly's first birthday. And the wedding was in Philadelphia and we were all there. And so, but my sister-in-law her family had some young kids too, so everybody came. But we made sure that when Molly got crankety, we had already arranged for some babysitters upstairs, so that after the kids were there for a little bit, then the kids could go upstairs. So they weren't there till the bitter end, but they were there during dinner and the first couple dances. Then it was like, okay, let's take the kids upstairs, and and that's fine. But it's not, I'm always amazed when there are people who get upset that they can't bring their kids, because I love my daughter, but there were times when I wanted to have a night away, and I'm sure you're the same way with your son. There's times when, as much as you love him, it'd be like, wouldn't it be fun tonight to let somebody else watch him so we could do whatever the hell we want?
Yeah.
Because we'll be home in a couple hours. It's not like we're leaving him. We're going to be back. We just, want to go somewhere that doesn't have high chairs and sippy cups,
Right.
And no kids menu. We want to go where grown-ups eat and talk to grown-ups.
I'll order off the kids menu. What the heck?
Will you? What are you going to eat? Chicken fingers?
Oh, man. God, chicken fingers. Something happened with chicken fingers in me in the last week. I don't remember what.
Debbie and Molly wanted to order chicken fingers the other night. Chicken planks, they call them now, So they go, let's get wings. Molly was over because we've taken care of Walter now for the past couple weekends. And
Why?
because she had stuff to do. She was going she went up to Milwaukee Saturday all day with for some going away party, stay over thing. So we took care of Walt, which is fine. Walt, we have 2 dogs, so one more little dog running around and he's gotten better because he knows the lay of the land now. But so Molly was here Friday night, and Debbie and she were like, "Let's get wings." I was like, "All right." Well, they didn't order wings. They ordered chicken fingers, chicken planks, chicken tenders, whatever the hell that was all they wanted. Oh, the chicken tenders. Oh, these are the best chicken tenders. Oh my God, these are the best chicken tenders at Wingstop. Oh my God. Went crazy for the tenders.
Chicken planks?
Well, that's what we used to call them when I worked at Long John Silver's back in the day.
But those are
Well, they're like chicken. They're bigger. They're chicken tenders.
But they're rectangles, right? Aren't they like the perfect rectangles? Or am I
No,
thinking of
they're
fish sticks?
You're thinking of fish sticks.
I think of fish sticks.
Well, they're more the ones at Long John. So it's the same kind of thing. I mean, I don't know. Long John Silver's. This was a long, long time ago when I was in high school. I don't know how if they were processed, whatever they were, but they were good because of the breading. These are chicken tenders, chicken fingers, whatever you want to call them. They're the same thing. They coat them, they deep fry them, they put them in sauce. They're like, okay, fantastic.
Speaking of food, I gotta say, my one gripe about the hotel, and I get why they're still doing it, but when we get out for breakfast, it's like free breakfast. Great.
Hey.
Can't wait to go get the free breakfast. Well, they don't have the food out,
Oh, right.
You got to go order it from the bar, the like hot bar. And I didn't like that at all. I get it.
It was made fresh, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's no. Here's the all right. So they got the big bucket thing with the eggs, and then next to that's the one with the sausage, then the bacon and all that. But they're walled off. So they put 2 tables, holding them off. Then they were over to the side. Then there was also an omelet station in the middle, and then on the right was like the cereal and the milk and stuff like that. But you had to go up and wait in line and go up and ask for them to give you anything because of the COVID stuff or whatever.
Right.
Super annoying. Super annoying.
Why? Because people couldn't decide what they wanted?
Yeah. Well, dude, the first day they served breakfast till because we stayed the night before the wedding because I wanted to be at the hotel the day of just to be all set. They stopped serving breakfast at like 9:30. I'm not a morning person. We get down there like 15 minutes before, and they were like, "Hey, sorry, the line's closed," because there's like 10 people in line ordering omelets, and it's like you can't put out the plastic packs of Golden Grams, right? Like no one's gonna walk over and sneeze on the Golden Grams temple. You just grab a thing,
Yes, just grab it. No, they're taking some of that. Now I'm trying to. Last time. Oh, when we stayed at a hotel, last time was in New Orleans when we went to bring Molly back, they had like a bagged breakfast. So it was an apple and a juice and like a granola bar, kind of a Nutri-Grain, something like that. And then they had the coffee and stuff. You could go get your own coffee. But if you wanted food, it was like, hey, here's a bag of breakfasty type items.
No. First of all, I don't like that either. Second of all, the coffee was communal. You could just go up and get the coffee. So if you can go and get the coffee anyway, and they got the cups out there in the stack, it would follow that the penultimate decision at that point is to put the thing at the other. That was a callback. I'm trying to think of the other words. What was the word I couldn't remember earlier?
Lackadaisical,
right? They were being they weren't being lackadaisical enough, or they were, depending on how you define it. Doesn't matter.
Like they were being too militant in their enforcement of the rules.
Wow, there you get. I don't know. I was not a fan, so I was just ready to jump over it and just grab all the bacon and just bring it home, because I like to do that.
I enjoy. I always look for a free breakfast a hotel because to me, I want to get the day started. Mm-hmm. And if you're you go to a place and you got to wait and breakfast takes an hour and a half. I want to go downstairs, wolf down some runny eggs or whatever they've got, maybe a bowl of cereal. And then I want to get my day started. I want to be out looking around the town. If I'm on vacation, if I'm somewhere else, I want to get to the day. I don't want to have to go out. I like going out to breakfast. If we're home on a Sunday, occasionally it's been, a year and a half since we went out to breakfast. But I mean, that I don't mind because I don't have anything else to do. Yeah. But if I have a chance to, even if it's a mediocre to borderline poor breakfast, if it's just like cold cereal and yogurt, and maybe they've got the hot water coming out of the coffee machine and the bagged Quaker Oats oatmeal, I'll make do. That's fine, because then I figure we'll be out and we'll have lunch or whatever. But it's always nice when you get a surprise and it's a place that does a really good breakfast that's included.
Yeah, at Gen Con every year, I think I've talked about this, but we are my friend group and I that go every year, the big gaming convention in downtown Indianapolis. We are obsessed with getting a hotel connected to the convention center via Skywalk. The Westin is prime real estate. It's right in the middle of the convention center, basically. Quick Skywalk. Westin, Marriott's pretty good. There's one other one that's like right there, basically. So we always get these rooms. 1 year, 2-3 years ago, we didn't get that room. We got a room. We had to get a hotel like an 8-minute walk away, but they had breakfast, which at the Westin, I mean, just forget about it. The Westin, you go downstairs, there's one tiny Starbucks, like literally smaller than my office that I'm in right now. Just a minuscule Starbucks with a line, 80 people. Everyone wants their coffee. Takes forever, super overpriced, no food or like bad food. Ugh. Or alternately, you go across, you have to walk like 10 minutes to a corner bakery. There are not a lot of good breakfast options in downtown Indy. And then you got to wait for that whole rigmarole. And then they got to, It takes like an hour and a half. It's like you said, you can't get your day started. So I like being in the thick of things. I like parking at the Westin and seeing the traffic go by and all the cosplayers and stuff. But God, it was tempting to just keep going back to that off-campus hotel just to, get rolling. I'll take that 10 minutes and just get rolling.
Walk downstairs, get some breakfast. I am always amazed by the people who, like you, they're waiting till the last possible minute. They've slept late or whatever, and they're coming down in their jammies and their slippers. And I'm like, I kind of get it. But there's a part of me that's like, really? You couldn't throw on clothes to come down? And they're, most of them, they're just grabbing stuff to take back to their room. I don't, but it's always funny being because you see people who are up, you can tell they're early risers and they're pressed and they're ready to go and they can't wait and their families are all upbeat and you want to just punch them in the throat because they're so happy. And then there's a people you can tell are really hungover or really tired and they're dragging their ass up to that the buffet line. And then you got the kids who always, it's a hotel breakfast bar is the ultimate arbiter of good taste and good manners because people will just wander into line with their droopy ass pajama pants and their slippers. It's like, hey, no, you don't get to, and everybody's waiting for the little make your own waffle thing where you get a shot glass of waffle mix and you pour it in the machine. And those are fun. Have you seen the conveyor belt pancake machines at some of these places?
Conveyor belt?
Yeah, it's the same kind of deal. You pour a little bit of pancake mix and it goes through this machine like an easy bake oven. Then it spits out a couple pancakes.
Yes. Yeah, those
I never
weird.
bother with that stuff.
Well, I think I figured out the best of both worlds. From now on, we'll just stay at the hotel connected to the convention center, walk to the other hotel, eat their breakfast, even though we're not staying there, and just go to the convention center. No one will ever know. Come on. No one will ever know unless Gen Con president is watching this podcast, in which case, I love that convention.
I know you love the convention. I don't know how you'd have to walk past the front desk to get into the hotel to eat because you can't get in the other doors because you don't have a key.
No. There is some kind of underground walkway thing that gets you into the basement. Or no, you can go through the parking garage.
Into the hotel? You don't have to have a key to get from the parking? That doesn't sound right.
Nope.
Doesn't sound safe at all. You can just wander. Any ne'er-do-well can wander in from the parking lot to the hotel?
Yeah.
Oh, I would never stay there then.
It's not a highfalutin breakfast.
No, I don't want anybody having. I don't want people just having. I don't care about you stealing, a couple eggs. That's fine with me. I'm talking about serial killers having unlimited, unfettered access to the hotel to just walk in through the parking garage.
You're one of those people that likes to swipe the key card on the elevator to get to your floor, because I can't stand that.
No, I don't want to do that. But I don't mind the external doors to the hotel having to swipe my key to get into the actual building. Once I'm in the building, I belong in the building. So I want to go up and down the elevator, fine. But the front door by the front desk is always open so people can come in, obviously, and register and all that. But normally the other doors,
that's true.
You have to have some sort of key to access those doors that are out of sight from the front desk.
I may be misremembering. I'm not sure. I don't remember the hotel security, the off-campus hotel in downtown Indianapolis. Maybe I need to. But, I'm not going to. Well, I'm going to have to refresh my memory because I didn't go last year because it got canceled.
Are you going this year?
This year, Gen Con is like a hybrid, part online, part offline. And my friends and I were like, we're not going to pay full price for the exorbitant hotel costs and to all travel to have like a downsized convention. Now, in retrospect, I think we made the wrong choice because here's the thing. Gen Con has 60,000 people. Right. There are 5 million things to do at Gen Con. There are games galore. Like you couldn't possibly hope to do 1/10,000th of the things at Gen Con. Even if they scaled it down 100 times, like it would still be absurdly large. And honestly, less crowded seems like it'd be pretty fun. So we should have gone. But I didn't want to go because they kept sending out surveys and they were like, what would make you feel safe at Gen Con? And the options were things like before you enter the exhibit hall, getting a temperature check and having to wear a mask throughout the entire event and things like that. And I'm just like, that sounds physically uncomfortable. And the lines are going to be exorbitant because they're going to be, do with the headset. And I was like, I don't want to deal with that.
Doesn't mean anything anyway. The temperature check was always a ruse.
Yes. It's so it always like this performative thing. And I was like, yeah. So I guess I don't regret it. Maybe it will be hellacious, but I'm just having some friends over in late August for a weekend of gaming. And we're just going to
You're doing your own Gen Con.
Like I did last year.
Will the cloak be on?
Oh yeah, I will. I wear the cloak. I just took it off because it's hot in my office right now.
I don't blame you.
Getting
now, have you given up Dr. Detroit, Dr. Evil, Dr.
Horrible,
Marcus Welby? Have you given him up?
Kind of played out.
Okay, I don't know.
It's a great costume. No, it's a great costume, but I've worn it a lot and I'm gaining weight. So,
so all three of us need to get back in. Craig already said he was going to try. So.
And I am trying. I'm
trying as well.
You are
failing miserably.
What? Why?
I don't know. Because I don't. It's all psychological. I'm doing pretty good. I've done better over the last month. Because here's the thing. This is very deep and psychological.
All right.
I thought when I lost all the weight that my life would change drastically. It did not. It did in a few ways, but not drastically. And then the last year has just been rough for everybody. You know, there's no, and this last year was exceptionally rough for me. I'm not comparing myself to other people. I'm just saying me personally, it was a very bad year. And so I kind of let myself go. And now it's like, well, is it really even going to matter but it does matter. So because I have way too many really cool Tommy Bahama shirts that I must wear.
Yeah.
So now it's all vanity. Now I don't care about anything else. It's just vanity. I don't care about a number. I don't care about anything. I just want a certain size, and things are moving in the right direction, but it takes, it didn't all come on overnight, so it can't come back off of. But it's not like I've gained back everything I lost, but I gained back a chunk, more chunk than I wanted to, but yeah. So.
Yeah, it happens. Now we've done research on the all or nothing mentality too, where like kind of feels like if you're not doing 100% of something, then it's like you kind of lose the motivation, or you're like, oh well, like some people might start a routine and they're like, I'll go 3 days a week, and then they do it for like 3 weeks, then they miss a day, and then they're like, well, I missed it, so now I might as well just stop or whatever. So that's a normal reaction, I think. And
well, this July 11th, it's 10 years. 10
Oh,
years ago,
wow.
I started losing the weight.
Oh my God.
July 11th, 2011 was when I said, no mas. I pulled the Roberto Duran and I walked away.
Wow.
So, yeah. You never know. But yes, that makes sense. The all or nothing, because I've gone through that. I think everybody has, where you're working, and then it's like, oh, see, now I screwed up. Might as well chuck the whole thing.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Oh man, I had a piece of pizza. I might as well eat an entire chocolate cake. What? How does that doesn't make any sense. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so weird. Said things are really hard. So you and I are both extroverts, and yeah, it's tough. And like, so I'm working from home now. Obviously, I don't see a lot of people, and a couple times I've like gotten really down, and then my wife will be like, "You're not seeing anybody. You don't talk to anybody."
No,
but
it's
like,
very difficult.
But like in the moment, sometimes like in the moment, I almost always tell myself, I'm like, "This is fine. Like I can do this. You know, I'm working from home. I like that. This is fine. There's no problem. You know, whatever." And like, there are problems that are so like just like there that you don't even like see them or notice them. And it'll be like 2 weeks, and I'll be like, wow, I haven't left the house in like 6 days. And you are the only person I've talked to in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
maybe that's affecting me in ways that I'm not totally cognizant of. So, yeah, I think,
well, and then the only other person around is an infant.
Right.
And while he's adorable, he's probably not a great conversationalist yet.
He's getting better. He's getting better.
Well, yeah, that's why I said yet. I didn't totally discount his ability to hold a scintillating conversation.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, so if you're watching or listening, you occasionally hit a moment and you're like, I'm really not happy right now. Maybe you just think you're fine, and just catch yourself a break. I don't know. I've been happy to be a little more talking to humans. You know,
that's why I like last week I went into TMJ for the first time in a long time, in a year and a half. I went into the building. It happened to be, I told this to Craig last week. I thought, it was a midday shift, and I thought, I'll go in, I'll see everybody and blah, blah. Well, I forgot that it was, everybody was celebrating, what did we just have? What was the last holiday we just had? The new holiday. Why can't I think of it?
Oh, Juneteenth.
I was like, why am I blanking on Juneteenth? Everybody had Juneteenth off. So there was nobody there. It was just like when I used to go in on the weekends. I was like, ugh. But I did get to see a few people, and it was nice to be back. But then as I'm there, I'm like, man, I really like the commute from home when I do the shows at home. To walk from the bathroom over here is like 8 feet. I can do that. It's not an hour and a half each way. But there was something about just being in the studio, or like being at the restaurant the other day, or as much as I play the curmudgeon, and a lot of that is 100% true, that I am kind of antisocial to a point.
Sure.
But occasionally I like being able to talk to you guys on Tuesday nights, and then do the other events that I'm doing, where I get to talk to people, even though we're talking to them via Zoom. That part is nice. But tonight I actually went to a place I went to pick up some tacos, because it's Taco Tuesday.
Right.
And this place near the house has a great deal on Tuesdays for their tacos, and their tacos are very good. Excuse me. One just came back to say hi. So I went, and I keep a couple masks in the car, but I'm not one of these people who is going to wear one if I don't need one. So I park the car and I walk over, and there's a big sign on the door. It says, you're required to wear a mask to enter. And I'm like, okay. I walk back to the car. I came in, but then I walk in, and I guess because everybody else was at a table eating, nobody had a mask on. I'm like, hold on. Is this some sort of ruse? Am I being punked? The people behind the counter had masks on, and it didn't bother me at all. I was like, okay, because I walked out, I took the mask off, tossed it in the car. It's there if I go somewhere else that I need to wear a mask. Because I thought, we got to church the other day for the baptism, and I was like, oh man, I wonder if we're going to need a mask. And now at the memorial service I had been to 2 weeks ago, you didn't need one. The priest was like, listen, if we're everybody's trying to be safe. If you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask, blah, blah, blah. So I did. But we got into church, and do you mind if I go on a little anti-Catholic church rant for just a second?
No.
Just a little bit. So there was this was the thing. I have a long relationship with the church. I went to Catholic grade school, Catholic high school, parted ways about halfway through college, in and out, lapsed Catholic, I guess you would call me. I have a spiritual beliefs, but there's a lot of the institutionalized stuff of the church I don't cotton to. So we get there, and there was a young lady, and she's like, "Oh, are you here for the baptisms?" Because what they do now, and they had a mass, and then they had like 4 baptisms lined up after the mass. So I was, okay, well, you can stand back here, and you don't have to wear a mask. And I'm like, oh, she's being very nice. But then she kept coming up to us because we were a little early. Do you know where the baby is? Do you know where the parents are? Do you know where the godparents are? No, we're guests. I don't know. They're coming, I guess. Well, it was supposed to be 12:30. I said, oh, they told us 1 o'clock. Oh, well, then maybe it got pushed back. All right. You don't know where they are? No, I don't know where they are. So they arrive, and we go in because we were the first of the 4. And we go in, and there's this old lady up there. And I don't want to use the word battle axe because that seems harsh in church. But I'll just say she was a little pushy. And one of my things about the church is no matter what, they want their money. They want to get paid, whatever it is. So my cousin comes in with the baby and his wife, and they sit down, and the woman comes over and asks him to sign some stuff. And then she goes, do you have your gift for the church? And he's like, yeah, but I think it's in the back. Can I get it? Well, I guess you can give it to me after, but you have it, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what kind of weird extortion deal is this? You got to pay off the priest before he comes out and throws some water on your kid? That doesn't make any sense. So, then so the church is empty except for the few people that were at our baptism. The next baptism was happening, like ours was at 1, the next one was at 1:30. The priest acted like he had never done a baptism before because he's reading along in the book, and then he lost his place for, I'm not exaggerating, about 3 minutes. He's flipping pages, going, what the? And I'm like, I looked at Debbie and I go, has he done this before? And he was an older guy, so you got to assume he's done a baptism before. But right. Then he finishes it off. Okay, you want to take some pictures? Yeah. Okay. So there's a little time for pictures, but they keep looking at their watch. And the old woman, the battle axe, is like, all right, you've got a couple of minutes, and then we need you. You can't go out the back door. You have to go out the side and walk around the building. And now I'm with my 84-year-old mother who's on a cane, and I'm thinking, there's no way she's walking all the way around the building because she's parked right outside that back door. And they're like, well, the other people are going to be coming in, so you can't go out that door. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So we take our pictures. Now, my mom is hunched over and on a cane, and we are 4/5 of the way. Here's a math question for everybody. We're 4/5 of the way down the center aisle to the back door. Nobody is trying to come in the door for the next baptism. Those people are all sitting out in the vestibule, just chilling. All of a sudden, this old lady starts yammering. Stop, you have to go out the side door. You have to go out the side door. And my cousin goes, Brian, you can't go out there. And I go, yeah, we can. And I just pointed at my mom, and the woman was like, and I was like, we're going out this door. There's certain things, like, I try to obey the rules. But this was no rule. This was some old lady who was trying to flex the fact that, the Catholic Church has shut women out for decades, and now for centuries, and now she has a tiny little bit of power, and God damn it, she's going to wield that power. And it doesn't matter if it has to do with some old lady or some long-haired freaky guy who's walking down the aisle with her. So we walked right out, and, my mom doesn't hear any of this because she's got these weird new Bluetooth hearing aids that work sometimes, and other times they don't. And sometimes she's listening to Korn. I don't know what's going on with her, her ear headphones, her hearing aids.
Korn?
She listened to Korn. She rocks hard. My mind just goes to rock. But I'm like, what's going on? And Debbie's fuming because Debbie has less patience with the church than I do. But these people, then we get there, we get to lunch, and everybody's saying the same thing. Can you believe that woman called him out about the envelope in front of everybody before the priest, and the priest didn't know what he was doing? I was like, yeah, well, listen, the kid's all baptized up now. So he got that original sin washed off him. Because infants do a lot of horrible stuff that they need to get that original sin washed off them.
Sure. Yeah. Wow. Is
that something you guys are doing? Are you guys or did you?
Now we are. My idea, I had envisioned when we started shopping for houses a year and a half ago, we'll move out to a suburb, find a nice local parish, and I'll start going and we'll get baptized and all that. Well, everything closed. Like, honestly, I could have put more effort into, I want to test drive a priest before I have him baptize my kid.
Okay.
I don't want to walk into a parish and have him read the word of God and then step down for his sermon and say, gays are sinners. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that priest to baptize my kid. Okay. And with the Catholic Church right now, it is like Russian roulette. You don't know what you're going to get. You really don't. Right.
That is exactly right.
Like, I have a strong Catholic history in my family. I always went to church growing up, but I have Catholic relatives that are looking at some of the priests right now and some of the things the church is doing and saying, and they're just like, what the hell is going on? I mean, there were some giving sermons about how you shouldn't get certain. Well, you heard that this was big news, right? When they're like, don't get certain vaccines because of this and that. And it's like, what the hell are you doing?
And then they're trying to blackmail the president. We're going to deny him communion. Really? You're going to deny him communion because he wants to let people make their own choices?
Unreal. It's there's no reason for it. Like, it's just, and I don't want to see your comments in the chat about how you feel about the Catholic Church, because I'm not slamming them, but they are not reliably sane when you go. So anyway, I didn't feel like, entering, I know in Rockford, like, you had to enter a lottery system to get to church. So it's like only 100 random people could get to go to church in person every week. Like, all this craziness.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just wasn't going to deal with that. So anyway, now theoretically, assuming churches are open, I'm going to do some Googling next weekend. Now that I'm done traveling for 5 weeks in a row, doing all this craziness, I'm finally going to have a relaxing, chill weekend and not do anything this weekend. And I'll do some Googling. I'll find a couple parishes nearby. I'll read some reviews on Yelp, which sounds absurd, but I'm going to do it.
It does sound a little absurd, but I like it.
And then I'll go to church for a couple weeks. And if the priest seems all right, maybe meet him, get to know him, check out the bulletin. If it all seems good, I'll say, hey, all right, I got to get my kid baptized. And we'll do it hopefully before he's a year old. That's the goal at this point.
My cousin's son is 8 months. I mean, and they said Sunday that some of the kids coming in were over a year because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So it's not, that's not out of the realm of the ordinary anymore,
Yeah.
I'm sure in another couple of years, it'll go back to, the first 6 months or whatever you try to get to get. But we got Molly baptized at a church I don't think we ever went back to, because we were there and we had just moved. And so we registered. I think we went to church there a couple times, but then, to me, it's not so much the priest, it was the sacrament. So, wherever as long as they dunked her and all the grandparents were happy and we were happy and, that was fine. And like my sister-in-law, thankfully, my brother and my sister-in-law, when my niece was born, her uncle is a priest. So they did it at their parish, but they had her uncle come and do the baptism, which was really cool. Cause then it was, on the family and that was nice. And I told you, I went to my niece's communion last month, and the priest doing the sermon didn't mention the communicants at all. It was like, dude, there's a bunch of little kids all dressed up right in front of you, and their parents, and the girls are wearing white dresses, and the boys are all in ties. All these second graders look slick, and they're ready, they're pious, they've been praying, they're doing the straight up hand holding instead of the clutched hands down by your groin that most of us do if we're walking into church. They had this is the church, this is the steeple move, and he didn't mention them at all. So it's like, I don't know. You get all caught up in this pomp and circumstance, and then you look, and I don't care what religion you are. There's things that are great about them for you, and then there's things that are, you look and you go, man, I don't like that at all. I didn't like my cousin being hit up for cash. No, I understand you give a gift to the church. That's fine. We did it when we got married. We gave something to the priest and something to the altar boys. And if you're getting my one brother said my nieces got baptized, 3 of them at Holy Name Cathedral. And there they had a set price. Your gift was here, I think he said it was like $150. So, okay, that's fine. You gotta hire the priest. You gotta keep the place open. Okay, I'm for that. But why don't you do that in private? Why don't we take care of that the week before? Like you do for any other event. Hey, what do I have to cough up for the salt and the oil and candle rental, that kind of stuff? What do I gotta? Sure. How much you need? Well, we'd like it. Okay, here's the check. So now next Sunday when I'm there with my baby and my family, I don't need you to be strong-armed by some granny who is finally feeling her oats because she's wearing sensible nun shoes, even though she's not in the holy orders.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't like that. There's my hot take. I wish Craig had been here to hear it. Craig likes a hot take, as do I.
Yeah. No, we'll get on the baptism train soon. And I do know that I could just take it to a place, never go back. But I'm just reminded of
I don't know if the same person who officiated your wedding can also do a baptism.
Ooh, baptized in the Universal Life Church.
That's it. Listen,
I actually asked my mom to do it because
nice.
She's super Catholic. Deacon? No,
because she's a woman, and women are dirty in the eyes of the church.
No, I think. No, never mind. It's last rites. Anyone can perform the sacrament of last rites.
Yes.
But not baptism.
Right. Baptism is one of those. You gotta hire the big gun. You gotta go in and you gotta get the guy with the stole and the whole thing.
Yeah, it's gate kept. That's
guy who lives in a house with another dude hanging around, all dressed in black, like they're Dracula. There was one of the priests at our church when I was growing up. I was I think it was maybe 7th or 8th grade when he came to town. He drove a red Trans Am, and he had a big mustache. He looked like Freddie Mercury.
All right.
And and every weekend he would go away. He had a place in Michigan. Yeah, you'd follow the story.
All right.
Because he would go away with his friend.
Yeah.
Every weekend. Great. The greatest masses though, because his sermons were like 6 minutes and they were good and they were short, and mass was over in 35 minutes and you were back in the parking lot swearing at somebody so you could get home to listen to the Bears game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How nice would that be? As clearly my lifestyle is not a priest-like lifestyle, but man, to have a captive audience, a few times a day, once a week, and then you got the weekday services, right? You got a captive audience and they have to listen, not because they have to be there, but because God says they have to be there. And that's so much better.
Listen, it's not my rules.
Right.
To the burning bush. The shrubbery told you had to be here. I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's some.
So that was my churching experience. It reinforced a lot of things. Let's say.
There's some the comments in the chat about who can baptize who. I'm sure that there's variance across religions, and
sure.
I'm probably missing some stuff, but I'm just gonna have a priest do it. Let's call it a day. Let's start going to church. Let's start being a man of God. Get involved in the community, meet some people. Finally,
listen. When I was growing up, my parents were involved in everything at church. They were the women's club, the school board, the athletic committee, the chili dinner, whatever, all the stuff, the fall festivals they would do, or they'd do all that stuff. And then we worked at all the things. I don't have my problem is not with the core belief system. My problem is with all the surrounding stuff. And, a lack of common sense on some level for some things. So, and cover-ups are always good. That always will endear people to you when you can just cover things up.
That's with a lot of religions at this point.
That's everybody. That's everywhere. It's look at Ben Zobrist, the pitcher for the Cubs, whose ex-wife allegedly was having an affair with their pastor, and so yeah, it's everywhere.
It's weird.
We were gonna join one of those big like universal churches, the big non-denominational churches once. So we went to a couple services. It was, oh man, it's great. It's like a rock concert, this big mega church, and it's crazy. And the Bible's the Bible. So they're teaching pretty much the same thing. They're preaching about, respecting other people and blah, blah, blah. And it all sounds pretty good. And the music is great. And there's a light show. There's, young hot moms and dads there, everybody, the young families, and lust in my heart. There was all kinds of things. So we decided, you know what, this may be the road for us, because a guy I know was part of that church. Oh, he loved it. He loved it. And we felt good when we left, but then we did kind of what you said. We kind of did a test drive. So we went to a meeting for potential new parishioners to get information about joining the church. And oh boy, Debbie dropped the bomb. She was like, so how do you feel about gay people in the church? And the guy was like, well, and he was hemming and hawing, and it was basically don't ask, don't tell. He was like, well, we don't condone it, but we're not gonna, we don't want to discriminate against. And I was like, oh, guess we're out. Yep. Sorry, a lot of luster on top till you scrape that gold confetti off, and you go, oh, what's under here? Oh boy, all right, thank you. That's it. Marta does have a good suggestion. What about the church you grew up in? Just for the baptism. Then you can register by. No, okay.
The priest doesn't. Our family priest, or the priest that I grew up with, no longer does baptisms, weddings, that kind of thing. He's retired. And I'm too disconnected from it, because in high school we started going to a different church, which I never cared for, and it was like priest of the month. There were 30 priests in my 5 years there.
Oh my God.
Compared to St. James, I had literally the same priest every sermon until I was 14. And he didn't retire till 10 years later, but we decided to go to this other church. And it was always oh, here's a guy from South Africa for 2 months. And well, he's done. Now here's some guy from whatever, maybe Ireland or something, but not with a cool enough accent. Not a strong Irish accent, just kind of a weak one. It's just half of it. Yeah, it's just all over the place. Just, importing them from random countries and then cities. And I'm from Boston. Yeah, let me tell you about God. That's more Chicago. Doesn't matter. But I never cared for that parish.
I've never heard the Boston accent from you. I like it.
I have not tried. Well, I spent a lot of time this weekend. One of my uncles, my aunts and uncles made it out from Philadelphia, and one of my uncles is Boston accent, thick Boston accent. So I was exposed to it a lot, and I found myself saying a couple Boston words in the last couple of days.
You go out and get in the car.
Yeah, stuff like that. Get in the car. Only a few words here and there, but very strong Boston, which I'm not used to being exposed to, because Philadelphia accent's very different from Boston accent. Yes. But yeah, Boston, it was very funny. It was a pleasure all weekend, but that's probably the longest I've spent talking to someone with a strong Boston accent in my life.
Well, that's good. You picked some of it up. I like that's good. You got a good ear.
Got a good ear.
Yeah, you got a good ear over there.
Or something. I don't
know. So you're not doing anything for the 4th? You're just hanging low?
No, I know we originally talked about perhaps doing something. I would still love to see you, since I haven't in ever.
We should probably see each other sometime. Maybe we need to get together as a core group.
We do. Well, pretty much all, actually, yeah, except for one weekend, all of July is open. So we will pick a weekend. We'll talk over text, or we can talk with Craig next week when we all get together.
Well, I know you guys have plans for the 31st of July.
I know. Well, we'll see you then for sure. But we should definitely get together.
We should
before
do
then.
something. Yeah, it's before that.
Yeah. But we'll make it happen. I thought it'd be this weekend, but like literally, my wife and I were driving back over the weekend, and we're looking at each other, and we're just like, we.
You
It's
know,
funny.
it'll be nice to do nothing for the weekend.
Well, it is.
So
funny.
you're because originally wasn't the lovely Dr. and Mrs. Gough going somewhere?
Yeah. The idea was she's like, we're doing so much socializing. I'm just going to go somewhere and just spend like a weekend alone, and you can watch the baby for a day, and I'll just like get some Zen time. And she's so tired. She's like, I don't even want to go anywhere now. I just want to be home. So yeah, it flipped pretty quick. And it's funny that, we spent 15 months not allowed to see anybody. Took
Right.
1 month to not want to
yeah.
feel like not wanted to see anybody again.
Well, you guys are working nonstop. You got the baby. The nice thing is now, if you do nothing, you could sit out in the backyard. You have such a nice backyard and the nice deck. That sounds ideal.
Mhm.
To just take a couple days and go, hey, we're just going to sit out here. We'll cook out. We'll do whatever, and we'll just relax.
Yeah.
Just relax.
But I haven't mowed the lawn since a week or so. It didn't matter for a while because it wasn't raining. It wasn't
Right.
growing. But the last few days, it's sprouting up. So, either Friday or Saturday is going to be yard work all day, which still just really leaves Sunday and Monday to relax. Because thank God my employer is
You guys are off Monday.
one of the Independence Day observers. So
That's when Debbie has Friday or Monday off as well, which is
nice.
So,
Yeah.
but her birthday is Saturday. So, there's been a lot of talk about what we're doing on her birthday. And then, so her birthday weekend has turned into like this thing. Cause now my mom wants to take her out to dinner on Friday. And then we're doing stuff with her on Saturday. We've been watching Holy Moly. Do you watch Holy Moly? It's it's hilarious. It's a mini golf show on ABC. And the
Tell me
holes
about
are all
that.
crazy gigantic. I laugh like a child watching it because it is just so over the top. And Debbie and I will watch it. We'll record it, and sometimes we'll watch it while we're eating dinner. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm laughing so hard or why I'm having such a good time. It just it makes me feel good. So now Debbie for her birthday wants to go mini golfing, and I said, we're not going to find a place like Holy Moly where things are exploding and knocking you in, and there's windmills that are on fire that you have to dive through, and we're not going to find a place like that. Well, there's one way up in Lincolnshire. So we're driving up to Lincolnshire. It's not Holy Moly level, but it's been voted one of the top 10 best in the country by the Travel Channel.
What?
So we're going to Par King on Saturday. So I will report back next week and let you know. Then she's like, we should see if there's a brewery up there. I was like, haha. And there happens to be one like 3 blocks away that I've never
Perfect.
been to.
Hey,
So,
get
yeah.
some take some selfie videos on your cell phone. I've got hookups at the Travel Channel. Send them some footage. Try and get you a little mini golf show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We'll do a little mini golf. I said, should we dress up? Should it be fun? I'm not doing that. I said, but you could put on like a formal dress and I'll wear a tuxedo. We could go mini golfing. I'm not doing that.
No,
Okay,
get her the
okay.
birthday girl sash.
Oh, where do I get one of those? Like Party City?
Probably.
All right. That would be, oh, yes. All right. Good idea. Look at, I knew. Careful not. Oh, no, the parking. I love the parking. And I'm going to parking right between the lines. Everything's going to be up to snuff, Mike. Don't worry. I'm going to take
Boom.
good care of it.
There
So,
you
yeah.
go.
So I will report back. But have a good 4th of July. Have a
You
restful 4th of July. How about that?
Look, you know how exhausting it is to all the stress of officiating a wedding. I mean,
Yes.
dude,
But now it is behind you, and I'm sure you had. I would imagine, as you said, that you got rave reviews. That does not shock me in the least. But it is stressful, and now it's over, and now it's got to be nice knowing that in a couple days you have a few days off. Even just working in the yard, it's mindless. It's not like you're working or having to do. You're cutting the grass. It's good sweat work, and it's supposed to be nice this weekend. So,
I'm pumped.
Listen, say hi to your wife and your child. I know you'll pass along my good wishes.
I do those things. You say hi to your wife, and
I will.
and also,
And to be honest, I
Walter.
know Craig would say hi to his wife if we asked him to,
What?
but I'm not gonna. Well, I'm not gonna risk it. But I have a suspicion he would, despite his protestations.
He told us he wouldn't. He's a pretty straight shooter.
I think I think there might be a softer core when it comes to passing along. I not on everything, but I think when it comes to, if his lovely wife were to say, "How was the show?" Did the guys ask about me? He's not going to go, "No, nope, they did not." No, he's going to go, "Oh yeah, they said to say hello." That would be
fair.
So
that's fair.
I think that that would be it. All right. Listen to Cody every day on the Curiosity Daily podcast. It's curiositydaily.com, a science podcast, but very accessible, very quick. You'll learn something in about 5 minutes. And that's always good, because then you can 10 minutes. All right. So you're going to learn something in less than 15 minutes. Is that better?
That's much better.
Is that more accurate?
You will learn something in 5 minutes, because our stories are less than 5 minutes long each. So you'll learn something, but you can learn more in less than 50. Learn something new in less than 5 minutes. Learn even more things that are new in less than 10 minutes, and learn the most things in less than 15 minutes.
Right. Invest a quarter hour, learn a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Would that be accurate?
I think that's math.
Quarter hour is 15 minutes.
That's Craig's strength. Remember, he said he was good at math. I'm not the math guy.
Well, I know an hour is 60 minutes. And the minimal math that I know is half an hour would be 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And a half of that would be 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour.
Sure. No, I'm not disputing that you know what you're talking about, but if you're looking to fact check, I'm not your guy.
No, I've got a big graph here. I've got a graph of a clock. Just in case I ever have to make a time reference.
Perfect.
So I know that's accurate. I know that.
Well, where can people hear you?
Listen, they can hear me here. I don't know what else is there's other stuff coming up. You can hear me on Wednesdays on the Craig Collins Show on WMBD. I'm there every Wednesday doing my Brian's Takes segment, where I have hot takes and cool hair. That's I don't know if that's what we call it. I think he calls it Noonan's Takes. I think Noonan Takes, I think, is what Craig calls it.
That's awesome.
Either way, he has stories and I spout off my opinions on them. And then we move on to another story, and Craig tells me what he thinks, and then I spout off some more, and we do that for a half hour, and it's a lot of fun. And it goes very fast because we're just having fun and we're talking about all kind of crazy things. And I never know what he's going to ask me about.
That's
sometimes
awesome.
It's news and political. Sometimes it's ridiculousness. But it's always fun. So, and just, stay on this page, stay on the Brian Noonan Show page, and you'll find out where I'm at, when I'm at. And, you know where Cody is, you know where Craig is. I prefer to be enigmatic. You don't need to know where I am all the time. It's really none of your business. I'll let you know when you need to know.
All right.
That was a mean way to end things. Wow. I'm going out hard. All right. That's it. Cody, have a lovely week.
You first.
All right, I'll do it. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash the button, whatever it is that the kids do when they listen to podcasts, wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. We will talk to you again next week, unless something horrible happens.
Wow. There's a way to end.
Always leave them wanting your doom.